Well, there's a number of versions of worst case scenario going through my head, and one of them is what took place tonight. Now, I can focus on Captain Incredible and say, if you're watching close, his knee boot came down. His knee boots came down. You might say, how would that happen? Well, he was hitting his knees last week. He touched over his knee with one of the strikes, and Eric did exactly what a trainer would do. He put a set of knee and arm boots on him just to make sure. Now, knee and arm boots are knee boots that have a little lip over the top of the knee, just in case a horse gets up over that knob. He doesn't really need them, but to be safe, it wouldn't hurt to have them on. I warmed him up. Thought he was pretty good. Less left line, and I didn't see him get at his knees tonight in the warm-up. Scotty said he was at his knees. Now, that left knee boot came down coming out of the gate. So it's already down. I'm already livid. I watch him get into the last turn. I'm watching on the camera. I'm like, both of them are down. There's nothing you can do at that point. Just hope that he doesn't hit his knees very hard. So, Scotty come off, and I look at him, I said, Jesus Christ. I look down right away, please don't tell me he hit his knee and it's going to blow up. Please don't do that, because that's the worst thing that could happen, right? I look down, I put my hand on his knees. There's no real marks, there's a couple little nicks, but I put my hand right on there. Not super hot, all things considered, and no puffiness already. That's the last thing you want to see, is when there's already a little bump forming coming off the track. That's when things can get a little sticky. That's what happened with Rose Run Alexandra. A little bump, it blows up. Now you got a big knee, there's swelling under the skin. It is so hard to get that down. But he didn't have that. Scott said, I saw the knee boots down, I put him in gear. He said, there was a time halfway down the lane I thought he was going to circle the whole field. Hey, he said, if that knee boot wasn't down and I wasn't focused on it and I wasn't watching it and everything was just in sync, maybe he does. It's hard to be upset. Here's our horse. He paced his second lifetime start in 52 flat. Last quarter, 27-1. Last half in 54 flat, I believe. That means the third quarter is 26-4. It's pretty hard to be upset with the horse. His left ankle bothers him a little bit. His hind ankles bother him a tiny little bit. He's a big boy. Obviously, it's in his head about touching his knees. So what we're going to do is ship this guy back up to Northfield. I'm going to have Dr. Latessa go over him, do any vet work we need to keep him comfortable. He's back in 7 or 8 or 9 days, so you don't got to work hard on him. I'm going to have Nick Clegg, if he's got time. Good blacksmith. I'm going to see what he thinks. I think Eric's onto the right move here. We had a set of half. He doesn't pound his knees, but it's one of those horses where it just pick sometimes. Exactly like Rose Run Alexandra. I can tell you what he won't do. Won't touch his knee as a 3-year-old. But that's later on. How do we get from here to there with the utmost comfort? So we're going to ship him up, do the work on him, see if Nick can see what he thinks about shoeing him. It's just going to be something minor. I can tell you what I think. Maybe just put a couple little shims and run a bead of borium from the middle of the toe around. I think that'd do the trick. But he was good tonight. Now, when I came down here, the veterinarian here, so here's the thing. Before I get too keyed up, there's people that flip out when their horses are scratched, and this horse is not bad. Pickpocket was very good tonight for Pickpocket. I don't know why the vet caught sight of him. I don't know why she's zeroed in on him. He does have a rickety way of going. Just go back and watch every race he's ever had. He's always looked like that. International Stallion victory, win, same. The other race, win, rough, almost made a break coming out of the gate. That's just him. He just got a kind of a lopey way of going, right? I was more concerned when she asked me to score him down. It was a bluegrass. I almost made a break coming off the car, I think. It was fine after. My biggest concern when she said score him down wasn't that she was about to scratch him, because it never dawned on me that she actually would. Once she saw him trot, he'd be fine. Biggest problem I had was, one, he's a bleeder, and two, if I fire him up to score him down, he can get really warm, and I might not get him pulled up. They're almost about to go to the gate. That's the last thing I want to do, is blast him by the vet, get him pulled up by the grandstand, have to come back and put him on the gate. That's not what I wanted to do. So I went as slow as I could. I just didn't want to feel that switch flip where he'd take off. I thought he was fine. It never dawned on me she would scratch him. I went to jog by her and she goes, Anthony, come here. She goes, little right front. I think I'm going to have to scratch him. I was speechless, which is hard for me. I couldn't believe she just said that. Now, at that point in time, some people flip out and yell and scream. This young lady's just trying to do her job. And the state of Kentucky does not want to have any horses injure themselves on their tracks. I get it. I don't want to see Pickpocket get injured. And this wasn't a court case. This wasn't democracy. This wasn't, hey, can we talk about this? She made a decision as an impartial veterinarian and scratched the horse. Pickpocket's fine. So he's kind of forced my hand. They've kind of forced my hand now. What are we going to do with Pickpocket? Can't make the final race now. It might be a week or 2 weeks. They put him on a vet's list of some sort. We have options. Most of them aren't here in Kentucky right now. And maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. So I'll talk to my partners when it comes to Pickpocket. Disappointed, thoroughly disappointed about tonight. But hopefully there's some lemonade in that bucket of lemons. We'll see. Now, Memory and Imagination was a little more surprising. Yeah, I used him hard. I could have took him back to 8th. And I know I'm going to see Scotty in a minute. And he's going to be like, really? You kept coming with that horse? I didn't come here to drop him in the 8 hole and run him up the inside and finish 6th. He's not good enough to win. He shouldn't be in that race. And that's how I drove him. And I have absolutely no qualms about it. None. He fits the Pennsylvania Sires Consolation. He's like 16th or something. He fits a Consolation. We'll race him in that. It goes for 40 in the Poconos on September 6th. There are races at Scioto. There are races at the Meadows. There is a number of races for both these trotters. The good thing about having a good horse is there's lots of places to race them. So although I'm disappointed about scratches and I'm disappointed about the outcome of the race with Memory and Imagination, I'm not disappointed overall. We'll move forward. It's just a bump in the road, I guess. The good news is, it's, when you see a horse scratch out of the post parade and you see scratch, bat, lame, obviously you're seriously concerned, and you should be. But I can alleviate all your concerns in saying Pickpocket is as good today as he was yesterday, as he was a week ago, as he was 2 months ago, as he was last year. He's the exact same horse. He probably would have been 1st or 2nd tonight. And that is not me taking a shot at the veterinarian. She's simply doing the best job she can. And unfortunately, it did not benefit us tonight. But that's okay. So we'll continue to move forward. Tomorrow's a new day. We get 4 fillies in tomorrow. As I said, we already have a plan for these 3 trotters. They'll come with me, and theoretically, not my car, but they'll come back to Northfield Park. Memory and Imagination will likely head over to Tim. Pickpocket will have Dr. Latessa go over all of them. Pickpocket, I'm thinking we'll figure out exactly how he's qualified to race, when he's qualified to race. Does he have to actually physically qualify in Northfield or in Ohio or Pennsylvania? Is it just a Kentucky thing? How binding is that? I have no idea. The next opportunity we have to race Pickpocket, he will race. Where that will be, I'm not sure yet. It'll either be the Meadows or Northfield Park, or Scioto, I believe. That's the plan. Not the way I wanted the night to go. Pickpocket, disappointed with the scratch, not of the horse. Memory and Imagination, a little disappointed with the way he raced, but it's not the end of the world. And Captain Incredible raced incredible, and we'll come back again. Now, coming back shorter in 8 days makes things a little bit easier for us. We can have Dr. Latessa go over him, touch him up, bring him back down to Eric, and I think you'll see a very, very good mile from Captain Incredible next week. Take care.